To blame me and say that my cartoons are controversial, excuse me, murdering cartoonists is controversial. And it is the jihadis that made this a flashpoint, not me.
You insulted the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and obviously you knew the consequences. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had thousands of dollars worth of security.
I live in America.
When you talk about murdering innocent people, the United States of America are the champions of murdering innocent people.
All right, there you go. By the way, Chowdhury is going to be on this show tomorrow. I'm holding my breath. I'm preparing already. Joining us now is Tom DeLay, former House Majority Leader, former Republican Congressman from the great state of Texas. Hello, Congressman DeLay.
Hello, Steve. You just always have a good time, don't you? Have Chowdhury?
You know what? I love doing this. If I wasn't doing this for real, I'd be doing it from my basement make-believe. But I'm always glad to talk to you. So let's talk about this. I had General Hayden on to talk about the court decision on the NSA, and we talked about Garland, and he said he thought it was an unnecessary inflammatory event. On the other hand, he said I'm Christian and I didn't pick up a gun when they put a crucifix in a jar of urine. He also said, I want you to weigh in on all of this, he also said that if we were to keep our civil liberties and our freedoms intact in an open society, we're going to have to learn to live with and expect these kinds of attacks. So weigh in on his analysis of Garland.
Well, I wished he was a little bit more forceful. The Obama administration is trying to hide the fact that Sharia law is trying to be imposed in the United States. The Heritage Foundation has identified 68 terrorist acts within the borders of the United States. The war is here, and people like Pam Geller is trying to stand up and let the American people know that we have a serious problem in this country, and we have to deal with it. Obviously, the response from radical Islamists is to shoot people up and kill people for what they believe. I mean, we're seeing a form of it in all of this religious freedom activity that's going on, where the government's trying to come in and tell people what they can believe and how to run their businesses based upon what they believe. All of these things have an impact. And Pam Geller and her people and many people around the country are standing up and speaking out, and they have every right to do so.
Absolutely. And, talking about religious freedom, there was a question from Samuel Alito at last week's oral arguments on gay marriage to one of the attorneys representing the plaintiffs. And Alito said, if we rule in your favor, will this jeopardize religious colleges and universities who teach traditional and talk about traditional marriage as marriage only? And the answer from the lawyer was, yes, that could be problematic. I mean, my God, is that the road we're headed down in this country?
It certainly is the road we're headed down by the left, and they're trying to force it down our throats. And people like Pam Geller and many others need to be standing up and speaking out. I mean, right there in the Dallas area where Garland is, the Muslims have come together and they're trying to impose Sharia law on a voluntary basis, which is the next step into forcing someone's belief down other people. I mean, honor killings are happening in this country. Manipulation and destruction of female genitals is happening in this country. Everything that the radical Islamists are talking about are in all these things are in their holy book, and we've got to have a discussion about this, and we have to make sure that these kinds of beliefs are not imposed on our Constitution or our way of life.
Yeah, it seems like we're at a crossroads. Very quickly, Carly, Ben Carson, and Mike Huckabee. Good week for the GOP field?
Yeah, I'm just loving it. I'll tell you what, we've got so many good candidates, it's going to be hard to pick amongst any of them. And you hear it from me first, Steve. I'm starting to predict that we may end up in a brokered convention with all these people running for office.
That would be very interesting. Boy, when's the last time we had a brokered convention?
I think it was back in the 1950s.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I don't recall when I was born in, you know, 59. So anyway, Congressman, always good to talk to you. And you know what? They're going to have to draft Tom DeLay if they have a brokered convention. I want to hear you. I want to hear you say right now definitively, if drafted, you will not run. Say it. Yeah, he won't say it. See, folks? All right, Congressman, good to talk to you.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye-bye. All right, folks, when we come back, it's Gimme 5, and it's Gimme 5 with the guest that is coming up at the top of the next hour, the former assistant state's attorney for Baltimore, who you've seen, we played some sound bites of her, and she is really raking the authorities in the prosecution in Baltimore over the coals. So we're going to have her featured in the Gimme 5, then she'll join us live in the next hour. Stay tuned.